So last week I posted a video about this crazy police interaction that happened in Taylor County, West Virginia, where the cops showed up at this guy's house without a warrant over a Facebook post and arrested him.
Freedom of speech. I can say whatever
listen,
I want.
I could 100% write up a warrant for you.
Well,
I'm not. You want me to do that? Okay, that's fine. I'll gladly do that for you. I came
I gotta
down.
go to work.
Well, I came down. Hold on, I'm talking to you. You're not walking away from me. No, get back over here. You want me? Turn around. I came down here to talk to you like a man and be cool with you, and you wanted to say something like that to me.
Yeah.
Cool. It's fine. Good job there. For him to make some of the comments that he's making, I'm not going to put up with that.
The video, despite getting demonetized about 4 hours in, is still going, almost up to 1 million views. The YouTube video has made the front page of the newspaper there where this happened. That newspaper article contains the response from the county there, and you're not going to believe what their defense is to what you saw in the video. So because this police officer was butthurt about something that this guy Paul said on Facebook, he arrested him without a warrant from his home, threw him in jail where he sat for 2 days, which then caused Paul to lose his job, even though, because the charges were baseless, the prosecutor later had to drop the charges. So I posted that video and it immediately took off. Then 4 hours in, the video's just charging along, boom, it gets demonetized. The little green money sign in my YouTube studio turns yellow. At the time, I had no idea why. I thought maybe it was some conspiracy, some robot messed up, so I appealed it. When the appeal came back confirmed by review by a human reviewer, it actually gave a timestamp. It said inappropriate language at 15 minutes and 28 seconds. And I thought that I had already censored the profanities in the video, and it's usually not required. It just can't be at the front of the video, but I censor them anyways if I have time. But unbeknownst to me, softly in the background, there is one of the several words that just cannot be spoken anywhere in a video. It begins with an F, and it's a homophobic slur. I didn't know it was in there. That completely demonetized the video. That's the reason. I was told I could delete it, edit it out, and re-upload the video and be fine, fully monetized. But the video was doing great. It's not about money. People were watching it, so I said no. I just left it demonetized, which it still is. Then people start sending me this newspaper today from that area, the Mountain Statesman. Headline, Taylor County officials address recent YouTube video. The sheriff there, Terry Austin, is quoted as saying this. Austin said that unfortunately these kinds of videos with specific agendas against law enforcement officials have been released across the nation and continue to be released at a fast rate. The reasoning is simple. The lawyer in the video was seeking money, Austin said, so he used footage to fit his narrative. But actually, YouTube must have seen something wrong with the video because they demonetized it so he could no longer collect. So the sheriff there actually thinks the fact that that video got demonetized is somehow exculpatory for the fact that one of his deputies is caught on video violating somebody's civil rights in an egregious manner. But this article just gets worse, and I really can't believe it. Anyways, here's what the article reported. And by the way, the reporter never, to my knowledge, attempted to reach out to me about any of this. But anyways, it says, a video with the narrative of civil rights infractions made by a Taylor County Sheriff's deputy has been making its rounds on social media, and with growing concern from residents, the Taylor County Commission met to discuss the issue. The governing body called a special meeting Monday at 9:30 a.m., citing the need to discuss legal and personnel matters, topics typically discussed in an executive session. During the meeting, the sheriff, Terry A. Austin, reported that an investigation was launched following a release of the initial video nearly a year ago. I think he means discovered. That's when they first knew about it. He continued, the footage was edited and the video's creator picked and chose what he wanted to release, Austin said. We have addressed the video and investigated the matter thoroughly. Austin said that the individual in the video expressed that he did not want to see the officers in trouble following the initial incident. However, the body cam footage was released to the video's maker, i.e. me, and has now become a hot topic among residents. Well, first of all, it was never released. A complaint was made by the victim in the video, Paul. And according to Paul, the sheriff, after he complained about what happened, just never even bothered to return his call or get back to him. But now the sheriff is saying that there was some big investigation and that Paul asked him not to do anything about it. I don't think Paul got the memo. And clearly that's a responsibility that we want to place on Paul. Let's continue with the article. What we want the community to know is that there were things that had happened with the suspect before the events seen on the video, as well as after, Austin said. When the incident initially occurred a year ago, we took our investigations seriously. So here they're upset that they got caught. They thought they had patched things up, with Paul anyways. But again, Paul didn't get the memo. They're upset that the video was given to me and that the public got to see it. So he says that there are things that happened before as well as after. Well, what are you talking about? The body cam footage that I showed you in the video, there was nothing before that I didn't show you. I show you from the very first instant that he turned his body cam on. There's nothing before.
How you doing?
Oh, my man. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm looking for Mr. O'Brien.
At the end, the last thing that you see, I also showed you. That's where the officer, Deputy Mail, had just thrown Paul in jail, and he looks at the other deputy with a grin on his face because of what he just did. And boom, that's where the other deputy turns his body cam off. So you saw the very beginning and you saw the very ending. Other than that, he's lying. There is nothing before, there's nothing after. And he's being very vague. I think what he's saying is there are personal attacks he'd like to make against Paul. Because what do cops do when they get caught violating people's civil rights? Well, they attack either the messenger, like me, which they did here, and or they attack the victim, which they're also wanting to do here apparently. Paul didn't deserve civil rights. I mean, that's where they go with these things. Yes, but you need to know the context. You need to know what Paul's criminal history was, all the bad things that Paul had done in his life before this happened to fully understand the context. And also things that Paul has done afterwards. That's what he's saying in code here. And no, it doesn't matter. In fact, you see this video in perfect context. And I'm going to show you the video footage again. Since they gave me an opportunity to remonetize this footage, let's go ahead and go through that footage again.
How you doing?
Oh, my man. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm looking for Mr. O'Brien. He's inside. Okay, you want to go get him? I need to talk to him. Thank you. No, I just need to talk to him real quick about an issue. How's it going, Paul? Oh, pretty good, man. I just wanted to talk to you for a minute because it sounded like you had an issue with one of our deputies.
Yeah, he called me home last night.
He followed you home last night. Zane?
I don't know
Who
what
was
his
it?
name was.
Well, listen, man. When you're making the comments that you're making on Facebook, that kind of brings issue to me. You know what I mean? For one, the direction that our department's going in is a lot different than what it was 30 years ago. Okay? Secondly, when you bring up Howard Ferris, you bring up somebody that's important to me because he was like my uncle. Okay? So if there was anything negative or ill or anything like that towards him, I would have 100% looked into that. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and when you make comments such as if you had an M80, you give him a heart attack, that can be taken as a terroristic threat. Okay? So, I've always been cool with you. I've always been 100 with you. But when you make comments like that kind of upsets me. You know what I'm saying? So instead of
It's freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want.
Listen, man. I fought in the Marines. I'm 100% for freedom of speech. But when you make certain comments, that passes freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? When you're saying you wish you had an M80 to give a deputy a heart attack, that I could 100% write up a warrant for you. I'm not. You want me to do that? Okay, that's fine. I'll gladly do that for you. I came down.
gotta go to work.
Well, I came down. Hold on, I'm talking to you. You're not walking away from me. No, get back over here. You want me? Turn around. That's fine. You want to do that? We can do that. No problem, bud. I came down here to talk to you like a man and be cool with you, and you wanted to say something like that to me.
Yeah.
Cool. It's fine. Good job there.
All right.
Anything on you you're not supposed to have?
No. Take that stuff out.
I don't understand why you got to be like this when I'm coming down here to talk to you and be cool with you.
What's your reasoning?
My reasoning is you're threatening one of my officers.
Oh, really?
That's my reasoning.
Anything in your waistband?
No.
I mean, I raised him. I know him too.
That's why I came
But
down
he's
here to
just,
talk to him.
I don't understand that. I say he's on that shit. He's got that shit in him. That's all I can say.
Because
He's not like that. I mean,
he's never been that way.
He's been
towards
fine
me.
for, I mean, his grandpa just died not long ago. He spent 3 years taking care of him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on. He's just got a lot of confusion going on right now, and I'd say he got in that dope last night.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure, but I'd say that's what's happened. So.
Because I mean, honestly, I wanted to come down here and talk to him because I have.
Well, yeah,
known
I
Paul
heard
for
you.
a
I heard you
while,
being
know what I
respectful,
mean?
and he's got to show himself. I don't understand that either.
But when you're saying that when you're taking pictures of my deputies doing
Right,
their
I
job, and
understand.
then you're saying you're going to throw M80s at them.
Well, I understand
That's a threatening.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
manner in my-
threatening manner, and yeah, it would be. It would be.
Not to mention the deputy wasn't following him. He was literally parked in front of the hot dog house running radar.
Right. Yeah.
And-
Yeah, I
and-
see him down there sitting
You know
all the
what I
time.
mean?
Yeah,
So
there's nothing wrong with that. He's doing
we've
his
had a
job.
lot of drug activity down through here.
Right.
We've been getting complaints.
I understand that.
So we're working on it. And
Right, I understand that. There is a lot of people running around down here.
For
so
him to
yeah.
make some of the comments that he's making, I'm not going to put
Yeah.
up with that. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. So.
So I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Like, what was your name? Alrighty, sir.
All right, you
Here's
are.
his stuff. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not going to take this stuff.
All right, I'll get it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry you had to see that, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks, guys. I'm going to still roll.
So the county commission decided not to take any sort of personnel or disciplinary action against the officer. They say the issue was already handled internally. No other sanctions were needed to be taken against the officers. There was little else for the commission to do. In the last year, we've had no issues with the deputy in the video. And per the request of the gentleman in the video, no suspensions were made. The sheriff's office thought it was done and over with because it had been dealt with. If it weren't for that pesky civil rights lawyer on YouTube, we wouldn't have to be discussing this now, right? But the article continued, and get this. However, to show the community they are taking the issue seriously, the commission agreed to provide funding for training for all law enforcement officials in the county not to exceed $4,000. Not to exceed $4,000. So that's good that they are looking at additional training, and they've hired an expert to look into the body cam footage to better guide them. And I know the lawyer that they're getting to do it, and he knows what he's doing. So I truly do applaud what they're doing there with the training. Now, maybe they should spend more than $4,000, but they are the elected representatives of the taxpayers in that county. Then the article wrote, "It is the belief of Austin, the sheriff, that if the officers had set out to violate civil rights, they would not have documented the interaction." He said there are key elements in the video that were simply misconstrued. When the full body cam footage was seen by the magistrate, it was decided that there was probable cause for the charge, but then it was dropped by the prosecutor, Austin said. So that's a laughable explanation. That's a laughable defense. And when he says that the video, parts of the video or key elements of the video were misconstrued by me, he conveniently doesn't say which parts. And for your convenience, just so they can't make me the bad guy, I am going to post on my blog the full, unedited, raw, uncensored, so there are a couple bad words in there, uncensored body cam footage you can watch from the little beep at the beginning when the officer turns his body cam on to his little smile at the end where he turns his body cam off. The whole thing, I'm cutting nothing. So you can look at the cuts that I did make in the original video and see if I cut out key elements just to take a perfectly legal interaction and to misconstrue it as something illegal and malicious. And then you'll see right through the lies that I misled nobody. The only parts I cut out were irrelevant parts, dead space, things just to speed up the video. If it was important, I included it in the video, unless YouTube required me by their guidelines to censor it in some way. So the big takeaway here really in my mind is that the county commission itself, which is the county in West Virginia, seems to have acknowledged that Paul was done wrong, that his civil rights were violated, and that they left it up to the sheriff to handle the discipline, which he apparently didn't do, and that they are nevertheless going to order additional review and training. So I think the county has done the right thing here. But the sheriff, this guy Terry Austin, has not. His only response is to attack me and to attack the victim. So now, you know what? I don't even care about the deputy so much anymore. Now, I'm very interested in this sheriff, Terry Austin. I've already received a load of information about this guy. Some very interesting stuff. Enough to make another video, I believe. But please, keep it coming. This guy is very special. So there you have it. Let me know in the comments what you think. You can watch the full unedited video. Did I cut out key elements? Did I mislead you in any way? Let me know in the comments. And if the sheriff, Terry Austin, wants to leave a comment of his own or tell the newspaper, please be specific. What key elements did I leave out? Did I cut out the part where he had a warrant to arrest this guy? I don't think so. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.